The information and communications technology sector in Nigeria has in recent times played a critical role in solving societal issues, and COVID-19 pandemic made its impact felt even more. According to the National Bureau of Statistics, the ICT sector grew by 14.70% in Q4 of 2020, making it the fastest growing sector of the Nigerian economy in the last quarter and the only sector to have grown by double digits. Meanwhile, tech startups in Nigeria have spread through almost all sectors, offering solutions from healthcare to agriculture, finance, trade, commerce, amongst others. The sector, which is comprised of mainly youths, have been a major player in job creation in the country. With unemployment rate at above 33%, the ICT sector has just proven to be not just succor to the rising unemployment rate in the country, but also foreign currency earner for Nigeria and revenue generation for government. As the Nigerian fragile economy is set for the path to recovery this year, overcoming the long-lasting effects of COVID-19, analysts say it's expedient for government to shift its attention from oil to ICT sector, as it has proven to be a solid foreign currency earner for the economy as well as job-creating sector. Well, I have with me Mr. Joy Akinlolu, who's a business profit consultant, to discuss this other issues that have to do with SMEs and fintechs and all of the startups and all of that. Thank you very much and good afternoon to you, Mr. Akinlolu.
You're very much welcome.
Yes, I want to start with what businesses have faced during COVID-19. How do we examine it? Where do you think we are at the moment? You say they are recovering at the moment, or where do we stand?
Okay, some are recovering, some are not, because COVID-19 brought reality into the game. If you are in the business because you want to go with the flow, because you hear there's profit somewhere, but the COVID-19 now tells you face reality. So some are already getting used to the system. Some are still waiting and hopeful maybe it's going to go back to where it was coming from. But just like a rubber band and an elastic, sometimes when it reaches a particular point, it doesn't come back to the same situation. So that's exactly what we have now.
So with support, let's now look at the support from, we've seen CBN always saying MSMEs are the way to go. We see Bank of Industry. We've seen, so even from the federal government, the Economic Sustainability Plan, we've seen them trying to support them. Will you say this is trickling down?
Well, yes, I will say it so, somehow, but to a particular level. It's not something that gets across to everyone. So if you're waiting, if you're a business owner, like I used to tell people, if you're a business owner and you're waiting for such, you wait for a long time. If you go back in history, most businesses that come to stand today, stand the test of time, started small and they grew with it. They did not start with somebody's fund or a governmental fund. So if you're waiting for that as a business owner, as a startup, then you have to wait for a long time.
Now, looking at the tech side of it, because many say because of COVID, like my first guest said, he said before now, we didn't know that we could have our meetings virtually.
Definitely.
We would travel from Lagos to Abuja for something we can just sort up in our offices and sit down. Even at home with my ties, I'm not even wearing my trousers, you won't know. Yes, people do it. And at the end of the day, you're running your meetings with everyone. Now, would you say that this has opened our eyes to the opportunities in the tech space? And if it has, how well are we taking advantage of it?
Yes, it has opened our eyes to the opportunities there. And that's why you see a lot of tech startup coming up now. Because you know, I can do, if this is what you do on a day-to-day activity, I can do it online. And that's why you have a lot of tech startups that are into loan financing now. So if you can't get access to money in the bank, you can do that on your phone without them knowing you, without you filling any form. They can get you the fund you need from the corner of your house. And they're making a lot of money from it. A lot of people are cashing in on this privilege, on this opportunity. And gone are those days when he mentioned something about interview. I've seen this being done. You are in your house, they do the interview for you. You answer, they tell you you're hired. And you can even start from where you are. So if you are not stepping into that opportunity, then you have to wait and you'll keep waiting. So it's more or less like you be on a queue and you don't want to move forward. You always be at the end of the queue.
Well, I'm always worried when we talk about IT and adopting in our country. Our challenges that we face, infrastructure, power, we know all of these things. For us to get it right with our we know sometimes when we have network issues, even with our banks, and you hear a particular USSD code, it's not applicable, you can't walk over, you can't use it over a weekend, and you're stuck at times. So what do we do to also address those issues around the infrastructure space?
This is a very good question, but one thing about us as a Nigerian, we tend to adjust.
Honestly.
We are very good at adjusting to bad things, sort of. Yes. Sometimes when it is bad, we find a way around it, and you find us doing something with it. Now, those problems will always be there. That is Nigeria currently. Some of those things are things that the government can do, but the ones that you can do from your own end, find a way around it. So if the USSD is the issue, you can use a direct payment. And if that is the issue, then you can find a way to do a cash by barter with something else so that the cash gets across to you. So as an entrepreneur, you have to find a way around these issues because they will always be there. If you ask my father, those issues were there and they're still there now. And if I go now, my children are also going to come up with those issues. So if you can't find a way around those issues, then you stay in the same position.
Unemployment rate is still very, 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 very alarming. And you know what we grapple with insecurity. I'm sure even driving on your way this morning, you drove early. You won't want to drive at night on that highway. No. You know what is happening all around the country. How do we, or how can all of this measures or policies or adopting all of this, how can it help reduce this number?
Unemployment. Well, when it comes to unemployment, there's a mentality I have it differently.
Okay.
Everybody looking for a job right now should know that no employer is actually willing to hire. They're only interested in somebody who is ready to save them money, make them money. So if you cannot do any of those two, then employers are not ready to just throw money around. So it's very important, if you are a job seeker right now, add marketing techniques to your job search. Don't job search when you're looking through the pages of the newspaper looking for a job. Because while you're doing that, there are about 1 million other people using the same process to look for a job. So a job that wants to employ 2-3 persons, about 3,500 people are applying. How do you get that? So what you want to do is to sit down. If you allow me to do that breakdown, you should sit down, look at the kind of job you want, what you can do, that if anybody should employ you, you will definitely excel in it. Then look out for about 20 companies that your service will be in need, that they will need your service. Now, after identifying that, you have to identify what is the industry problem that industry have, and what is the company-specific problem that the company you're trying to apply to also have. So while looking at those problems, you look for solutions that pertain to what you can solve and come up with solutions. Now, apply to that company, specifying that you know that they have this problem, that problem, this problem, and as a company, they're in this industry with this so and so problem. But if they employ you or they have the time to sit with you, you can give them solutions to those problems. Now, no employer of labor will say, don't come. And if they say don't come, you do a follow-up. And what you do with the follow-up is, if I can just make use of this, you do a follow-up with a sheet of paper like this, then you write to half of this sheet of paper, and what you're going to put there is, if you consider other people before considering me, they will not do as half as what I would do if I am employed in your establishment. Now, that one will raise a curiosity, because what you want is an opportunity for you to sit down in front of an employer to let them know that you're worthy of this. So that's why I always encourage any job seeker to add marketing to this. If you add marketing to it, like he was talking about brand, content, engagement, is also applicable when it comes to job search. So if you don't have a job, is a job already for you to find a job? So using that system will give you the opportunity to move out from the job seeker list to somebody who have a job. And if they don't give you a job, they can hire you as a consultant. Mind you, you have identified their problem, you have identified the solution, and they will bring you in one way or the other, or they create a space for you.
Now, when we talk of small businesses again, or almost finally now, two things actually come to my mind. One is funding, which is key. Then another thing is about being really creative, bankable projects. Some agencies will tell you, come with your with a project that is bankable, that we know that if we assess it, we know that yes, we will, because nobody's going to give you money and not want to get it back.
No.
That's where we go. So how prepared are youths for funding and for bankable projects in your assessment?
On a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the highest, most people are on 2. Because what we do is that we lazily look at something and I'll feel like, okay, I can sell this. Then the question is, what will make you different from the others? Because somebody that wants to put the money down is looking for the differentiation, is looking for the marketability of what you have, and looking for the return on his own investment. So if you want to sell water, for example, and you want to sell the water the way everybody's selling the water, what makes your water different? But if I come up and say, water for pregnant women, people will listen because there's nothing like that. That every pregnant mother should drink this kind of water if they want safe delivery, because not all water are good for pregnant women. So if you come with that as an idea to somebody who wants to do funding, they will listen to you. And it's also very good for them to try and learn. How do you do presentation? What are they looking for? Don't just stash up something together and feel, oh, if I present this, maybe you presented this to your dad or your mom and they say, wow. You get that, they will say no. Because your dad or your mom is not the person who want to put the fund down, so you need to come up with something that will be different. So learn. It's also involved learning. Learn what it takes to do something like that and present it so that you can get a yes from the investor.
So let's wrap up. What do you see? What kind of 2021 do you see for business people, small businesses, as we project and we hopefully move away from COVID-19? Yes, we must not drop our guards. We must keep washing our hands. We must keep social distancing and all of that. All the personal ones, personal hygienes, and all that has been stated by the PTF. We must adopt all of this. So I'm even saying that as an opportunity to say that to Nigerians, that we must not lose guard. But what kind of future do you see for small businesses as we move on?
In all honesty,
yes, please.
Some businesses will close up. The reason being that some businesses are already taking up the advantage of this present situation to move ahead. So if anybody is not moving ahead now, 2021 will be a bigger roadblock for some, because some will close shop. The 2021 will give an opportunity for people who can engage existing customers and past customers to stay with them, will make a better use of 2021 because they will make so much money. Some businesses today do not care about their present and their past client. What they worry about is new client. You see them always running after new client. I need new client. I need new client. Now, if you use the same effort you are using to get new client, put it as an engagement with, I'm going to use that same word the other gentleman used there, in terms of engaging your present and past client so that they stay with you. You're always in their face. They're always remembering that you're there. So if they have any reason to do business, they will come back to you. But if you are the type that you're always running after the new client, you'll find it much more difficult because it's more about engagement and connection now.
Engagement and connection, a good way to live. Mr. Joy Akinolu, thank you very much for still pulling through and standing in for us. A very good friend of the house and also of the show, business profit consultant. Thank you very much. We hope to have you again shortly.
It's my pleasure.